And in the meantime, the tent city in Zuccotti Park has become so dangerous to women that they've had to set up a separate area for them. Joining us now from New York is David Callahan. He's the co-founder of O.W.S, which is a progressive think tank. Okay, now, I'm trying to make sense of all of this, okay, because I'm reading these accounts, and to me, the accounts, as a woman especially, they sound disturbing. Sexual assaults, rapes going unreported, rapes of men apparently going unreported, with other people at the Occupy movement saying, look, we need to get you down and get a rape kit, and we have to separate women out because we're worried about their security. Candace Geov of the New York Post, I guess, spent a whole day there, and she said, look, there's a transgender splintering off because they're worried about the situation down there. How is this good for the progressive cause, for this thing to keep going on?
Well, I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with these young protesters being willing to camp out for weeks in a cold and, yes, a dangerous city to draw attention to our unfair economy. These are committed folks, and they've really changed the debate. They've put inequality on the agenda. Unfortunately, some have paid the price. But let's put this in perspective here. I mean,
paid the price by whom, though, David? There are rapes, assaults, robberies, unsanitary conditions, destruction of small businesses.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
These are occupiers. There's some of the occupiers doing this.
No, the violence has been from hanger-oners who are not from outside the movement. I mean, these people are camping out in New York City, sleeping there for weeks. And there have been a couple incidents in almost 2 months that they've been there. So this is not like an epidemic of violence. I know that you all like to focus on this sort of bad stuff in order to distract attention from the important issues.
I actually interviewed the Oakland police union representative on this on my radio show, and this guy's not a political guy at all. He's a police guy, and he said this is really difficult for the police, and they're concerned that people who really need help in other parts of the city aren't able to get it out in Oakland because the police force has to be trained on these protesters. So we have small businesses complaining. We have an enormous amount of damage done to these cities. We have $5 million in overtime charges in New York alone for the police. And somehow you think this is like all great and, oh, the progressive movement looks so you know, credible at this point. And not according to the polls, 43% think you guys are unfavorably rated now.
Look, it's changed the national debate. We're having this conversation right now. These protesters have put inequality on the agenda, put the unfair economy on the agenda. They have changed the debate. And by the way, this is a movement that has far transcended what's going on in Zuccotti Park. There have now been 400 protests in different cities, 400 different cities where this stuff is going on. You know, let's not just focus on the antics at Zuccotti Park.
Well, right. I live in D.C., and so I drive by the D.C. protest every day. I never see people there, but I see a lot of tents. So I just literally never see anyone at the protest, but I see tons and tons of tents. So maybe I should go down and just, you know, have a conversation.
You know,
but seriously, we have the stock market dropped 389 points today. Does that make you and the protesters that you support, do you think that makes them happy? Because that means people are losing money on Wall Street.
No, I don't think that makes anybody happy. I think that what these protesters are asking for is not drops in the market. What they're asking for is reining in Wall Street, creating a more fair economy, trying to get the wealth elite who has taken over our democracy to sort of pull back and share power and wealth with the rest of us. This economy is not working for ordinary Americans. That's what these protests are all about. And look, yeah, protests are expensive. Lots of police costs, no question about it. But if we don't address the fact that our economy is so unfair, we're going to see more of this. This is the face of what may be to come.
44% of Americans in the latest Rasmussen poll say these protesters do not represent the mainstream. I think about 33% say they do. I think they're hurting their case at this point. Maybe not in the beginning, but at this point, it's time to wrap it up and turn it into a political movement with some real legs.
Two-thirds of Americans say they're concerned about inequality. I think that they have helped put this on the agenda.
They want to be able to drive through their cities without a huge traffic jam and have their police force not abused. So I think they want that as well.
Hey,
but Mr. Callahan,
democracy can be messy, Laura.
Yeah, so go vote. That's what democracy is. Mr. Callahan.